Hi, everyone, and welcome to Leaf Rants. Season's over. Game 82 is played, and the Leafs are going to the playoffs. That's the regular season. Through 82 games, the Toronto Maple Leafs went 52, 26, and 4 for 108 points to put them fourth in the league. That's pretty good. We were heating up at the end of the season, and that was really good. We're playing Ottawa. So what I want to do here is I want to go through and just review the season we had for a little bit and then preview, obviously, our playoff series coming up. So season MVP I gave to Matthews at the start of the year in my season preview. The MVP I'd say is Marner. 102 points, 27 goals, 75 assists. Matthews being third on the Leafs, though, in points is insane to me. Obviously, playing 67 games and being injured for most of the season, having that back problem, having to go to a different country for it. Just insane that Matthews came back, had 33 goals. I think he had a very good season. 45 assists, 33 goals, 78 points. Let's see what pace that is. Let's see. 33 divided by 6. So that's a 40-goal pace. And for points, that's a 95-point pace. So that's what you got from him this season through the games he could play. But just great season for the Leafs. They've had their ups and downs, so looking back at our season as a whole is a little bit different than looking through it when we were going through the regular season, right? We had stretches where we'd win 5 games and then lose 5 games, and then just not a whole lot of security under it. The Leafs have been good. Since February 1st, the Leafs have played at a 122-point pace, going 22-7-2 down that stretch. So we are heating up at the right time. But let's go back to this. My biggest pleasant surprise, I had Liljegren, and honestly, I think the most pleasant surprise this year, out of anyone, and this is a little controversial, Pontus Holmberg. Pontus Holmberg is a guy that you expected to have on your fourth line. He played a lot of time with John Tavares and William Nylander on that second line, trying to find a winger there. And right now he's the third line center, and he's played amazing this past couple games. So is Scott Laughton. Scott Laughton's really stepped up his game, and you love to see that. Love to see your guys heating up at the right time. But yeah, I'm going to give it to Holmberg. He's had a great year. Yet again, ups and downs with him. He's drawn a crap ton of penalties. And he's kind of been solid. Obviously, he's not the most capable offensively, but defensively, man, has Pontus Holmberg been good this season? Best value for the contract, I was giving it to Joseph Woll. And Woll still deserves that. He definitely does. I'm giving it to the goaltending tandem of Anthony Stolarz and Joseph Woll. Woll's making under league min. Like $766,676. Stolarz is making $2.5. You're getting that tandem for $3.25 million. That's insane. Or that's not math. Yes, it is. 3.266 million. Sorry, it took me a minute. But that goaltending tandem has been insane for the amount of money they make. Obviously, Woll's extension kicking in next year, but man, it was good to get him locked up. Also Matthew Knies. Matthew Knies has been amazing this year. He's really stepped up his role. Contract extension for him coming through this offseason. And yeah, we'll see where that brings us. And then most potential, I had Matthew Knies at the start. I'm still giving it to Matthew Knies. Matthew Knies has been insane this year. And that's the only reason I didn't give him best value, because that goaltending tandem has just been so good, so clutch for us, and we need them. And I just want to point this out. Game 1 last year, the Leafs dressed Timothy Liljegren, Ilya Lyubushkin, Joel Edmondson, and Ilya Samsonov. Game 1 this year, instead of Liljegren, they have Chris Tanev. Instead of Lyubushkin, they have Brandon Carlo. Instead of Edmondson, they have Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And instead of Samsonov, they have Anthony Stolarz. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is This is much improved in those spots this season. Also, Jake McCabe and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Craig Berube said they will be available for game one. He also said that about David Kampf. But I don't know how much you should really change up what we've had. The lines right now are Nyes, Matthews, Marner. Keep that line together. Don't change it. Then Domi, Tavares, Nylander. Now that's your second line, and I like it. Domi has really stepped up his play recently. He had a horrible start to his season, but he did last season too. And he stepped it up towards the end and coming into the playoffs. Do you remember how much of a factor he was last year? Man, Max Domi was insane for this team. With Matthews being out, with Nylander missing time, it was just clutch. It was really clutch. He came in, he stepped up, and he gave us a chance in that Boston series. The third line of Bobby McMahon, Pontus Holmberg, and Nick Robertson. McMahon, he's been slumping a little bit, but I don't see this really as a demotion for him. They need that third line to get going. So by moving Bobby McMahon down, just changing some things up, try to get it going. Robertson has been physical. He's honestly looked pretty good. Holmberg, like I said, Holmberg's been great. I don't know how much I like him at center. I like him a lot on the wing. But do you want to mess up that fourth line, which is really more of a third line? Steven Lorentz on the left, of course. Scott Laughton in the middle, who's played a lot better. And this is just a hard, forechecking, defensively responsible fourth line that is being played more than your third line just because of matchups and stuff. So Calle Yarncroke being on the right too. Everyone's like, oh, he disappears for the playoffs. Have you seen him? Shut up. Don't sit. You can't sit there and tell me, oh, Calle Yarncroke, he's sucked this year. He's been horrible. Are you watching the games? He's missed 60 games this season, came in, been completely defensively responsible, and has put up solid minutes. He's not a cardio merchant. He's a defensively responsible winger on your fourth line. What more can you ask for him? Yeah, he's putting up 50 goals. He missed 60 games. That fourth line is solid. And then as your spares, you have Max Pacioretty, David Kampf, who I'd keep this forward lineup together until some flaws. You're like, okay, maybe David Kampf back in here. And then Ryan Reeves as an extra. Just in case you need him in a bit more of a physical matchup, you can pull someone out for him. But yeah, you don't really need him that much. This team has been different. And defense, I wouldn't change a single thing. You have Riley, Carlo. They've looked great. It took Morgan Riley a bit. Took him a couple games, but he's here, and he's looked a lot better beside Carlo, and who thought? Then you have Jake McCabe and Chris Tanev, obviously solid, shutting it down in front. They've been insane. And then Benoit Ekman-Larsson. You can put Ekman-Larsson on a strong side. Bring Philip Myers up and put him beside OEL if you want, but it's looking solid. And then obviously in net, Stolarz and Wall. I imagine Stolarz will get the first game, and he'll just keep rolling until something goes wrong, or he'll just take that spot and he'll be how everyone thinks he should be. And then obviously Wall will get a couple games in there too, just depending on how Stolarz plays. Joni Hakanpää, I don't if he plays, that'd be pretty funny, but I'm not expecting him to play any meaningful hockey here, so I wouldn't expect too much from him. But overall, I am really happy with the lineup, and yeah, playing Sens it's going to be good. Now, the power play this season was 24.8%, tied 8th. And you look at that and you go, okay, probably be a bit better, until you remember that for the first couple months of the season, it was absolute crap. Do you remember that? I sure do. It was horrible. And then they went on a hot streak, and they moved themselves back up to 8th place, tied for 8th with Colorado. That's pretty insane. Now, their penalty kill, it's gone through stretches, too, of being amazing. Obviously, that McCabe-Tanev pairing has been great. And not so good as well sometimes. Not the pairing, the penalty kill. 77.9% for 17th in the league. That's a little, but we can look past it. I think they'll be better in the playoffs, obviously. Scott Laughton has been playing a lot better. Maybe playing that Matthews-Marner pair, maybe. Actually, no, play them. They've been good. Matthews has had shorthanded chances. They've looked good offensively and defensively. Austin Matthews he's been great for the team this year. He really has. Goals for, 267 goals for this year, which is 7th in the league. That's good. Obviously missing out on those extra 36 goals from Austin Matthews, but William Nylander putting up 45 goals. John Tavares putting up 38. Matthew Nyes, 29. Almost a 30-goal season for him. He had more points than Brady Tkachuk this year. Yeah, Philippe with that nasty goal to end the season. And, yeah, against is where it kind of 229 for 24th in the league, which is insane to me because the defense has been really good and the goaltending's been really good. So I wouldn't look at that number and be worried too much. And then at the end of the day, these stats do not matter at all anymore because it's playoff time. And this is different. If we're going to sit here and we're going to judge all of these stats, why? Where's that gotten us in the past? Oh, we look really good this year. We've been doing good. And then we get crapped on in 7 by Boston. Ha 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 ha. Wrap up the regular season on a 5-game win streak, which is something we didn't quite do with Sheldon Keefe. Last year under Sheldon Keefe in our last 5 games, 1-3-1. This year under Chief, 5-0. Got to think there's a bit of a difference there. I don't know how much you read into that, but yeah. Also, from Mermis and OT to end the season is the funniest thing of all time and the most Game 82 win ever for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That is awesome. All right. More thing about Chris Tanev. He's third among NHL defensemen in goals for percentage. He's only behind Jordan Spence and Philip Borberg, who do not get the same type of matchups that Chris Tanev get. The Leafs are winning his minutes 55-33. Now you have to remember, he's on like a shutdown pairing with Jake McCabe. That's crazy. That is crazy. But let's break down who we're playing against this year. Playing the Ottawa Senators. And their power play opportunities this year, they have the most amount of power play opportunities with 260. And do you know how big the gap is between first and second? It's 14 power play attempts, which is the same amount, or 16 power play attempts. And the difference from the second place Stars and the 10th place Lightning is 15. That's the difference. The difference between first and second is 16, and the difference between second and 10th is 15. That's absurd. Like, that is absurd. Good thing the whistles go away in the playoffs, or I don't know, maybe not against us. But yeah, we're all playing Linus Ullmark. So that's their starting goalie. This year he played 44 games, 4 shutouts, 2.72 goals against, and a .910 save percentage. He had 25 wins. We have Stoley. Stoley played 34 games, 21 wins, 4 shutouts, same amount of shutouts, 2.14 GAA, so less goals against, and a .926 save percentage. Yeah, I'm ready. I actually have tickets to Game 3 in Ottawa, so there's going to be a little special something for that, I think. Special type of video. But this season, it brings me hope. And I believe I have the passion that unites us all. The reason we're here, the reason we do this, the reason we watch 82 games are for these. This is different. And I know we say this every year, and it's going to be different. I don't care. I believe. I do. I believe. I believe in this team. The Battle of Ontario. Scott Lawton was talking about how he's been watching clips. The Leafs all time in the playoffs are 4-0 against Ottawa in their series. They've won all of them. I'm ready. I really am. And this is going to be awesome. So the real question is, are you ready? Do you believe? Do you believe? Do you have the passion? The passion that unites us all? Because I do. And I'm ready. And this, I don't care what happens with Mitch Marner. I don't care what happens with anyone on this team. I care about this season. I care about right now. I know Scott Lawton was a bit of an overpay. But you know what? He's looked a lot better. And we do have him for next year at 1.5. But does that help us now? No. We need Scott Lawton now. We need this entire team to step up. And it feels different around the team. They've bought into this Craig Berube system. And I believe. I believe in the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I'm excited. So thank you, Leafs Nation, for all of your support through this up and down year for me in my consistency with videos. But thank you all for the support. Now let's go win the Battle of Ontario.